I'm with Thomas Sutton-Walsh, who's Senior Enterprise Account Executive at Fivetran. Thank you very much, Thomas, for the interview.
Thank you for getting me along.
No worries. So, for those who aren't particularly familiar with Fivetran, can you just briefly tell us about your work?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll probably make one slight amendment to that. So Fivetran has been around for over a decade, and I'll explain what Fivetran does in a moment. But June 1st, we merged with another organization called DBT Labs. So right now we've got this really fancy title called Fivetran and DBT Labs, soon to be called, it could be some sort of amazing reveal at some point. But so where Fivetran fits in and why the merge matters so much, and even more so now in today's world of AI and the pace that it's moving, is Fivetran moves data. It's an automated data movement tool that gets all your data from all your different fragmented and siloed places across your organization into a central place reliably and at scale, and then it's up to date. What DBT does, it transforms it. It basically means that we can ensure that that data is trusted, it's governed, it's all got the right details that it requires. And so when you are running your analytical workloads, when you're running your dashboard, you're asking your information from your data, that it's trusted, and you understand full end-to-end lineage. What does that mean? Basically, you can understand exactly where that data comes from, so you build trust amongst it. Yeah, but it's a really exciting time, and we've got a number of great customers and partners across the world, and in particular New Zealand. They're already with us, and I think it's only just the beginning.
Fantastic, thank you. Many organizations have their data spread across myriad systems. What's the biggest challenge businesses face in getting that data AI ready?
Great question. And it's very similar to the chat or the presentation that I had earlier around data foundations. So it's pretty scary when you think about agents, AI, and it's at every single board discussion at the moment across any size organization. It's like, what are we doing from an AI perspective? But the reality is, across all those different sizes of organizations, is that the data is not ready. So it's in silos, it's in databases, it's in emails, it's in unstructured files all over the place. And that's the biggest challenge. So first you need to get the data into a central place, and it needs to be trusted, it needs to be up to date, and it needs to be secure, right? So that's number one. And two, you got to be like, okay, so how do we actually start doing some stuff with this data so people start adopting AI and start getting that ROI that the board said, okay, let's go full speed on AI, but what's the ROI on it? And I think that's a missing gap as well. But yeah, to go back to your initial question, is the biggest challenge is literally getting that data in. And what a lot of organizations do at the moment, they do it manually.
Yeah.
And there's a better way.
Yeah. Companies often worry that AI projects will be expensive and will take years. What's a realistic first step they can take on the road?
I'm going to talk at this at not a technology level, more like a pragmatic lens. So not a technology lens, more of a pragmatic lens. And that is certainly, I'd start with, what is the business outcome? Like, why are you doing this? What is that one metric? Like, is it like employee efficiency? Is it saving time? Is it cutting, whatever it is. Like, there's so many metrics. You can even get AI to help you with what metrics you're looking for, but decide on one. Align across your business and data teams. If you're lucky enough to have a data team, align on that. And if you don't have a data team, work with your consulting or your contractors, whoever they are, and align on what business outcomes are. Measure that value, choose one use case, get adoption up, and then go wide. So that's one way. And then the other approach is top down. So, but again, you have to align on what those business outcomes are. So you can start small and grow, and do that in a trusted, very specific way, where you go top down. This is the way we're doing it. It's either get on the train or jump off. So I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but I think if there's a theme in what I just spoke about, it's what is the business outcome? Not a technology feature. What is the business outcome? How are we going to measure success? What does good look like? Like if you were to take money off the table, what does good look like?
Great, thanks Thomas. What's the difference between a company that's data rich and one that's truly data driven?
That's a really interesting question, and depends on who you ask. You might get different answers. Like, what is data rich and what is data driven? But I'm gonna potentially answer this along the lines of data rich is an organization that has lots of data available, and I'm making the assumption that a data rich organization isn't maximizing the value that it can get from its data. So that's my working assumption. A data-driven organization is they may or may not have massive amounts of data, but they're driving outcomes from the data that they do have. And maybe even as I played that back and as I'm saying it back to you, that is probably the difference. So there are a number of organizations, all different sizes, whether it be a infrastructure business, government agency, a bank. There's massive amounts of really valuable data. But if we go back to one of the previous questions that you asked around the challenge and like AI and all that sort of stuff, that's very much like a phase 2 or phase 3 when you're going on your data journey. Phase 1 is getting all that rich data in one place, make sure it's trusted, and then you can leapfrog from there. The data-driven organizations, they're just further along the journey. They're realizing that they can do their own data is so valuable and they can just do so much more with it. But it needs to be trusted, it needs to be in one place, it needs to be accessible by everybody, and you need to be able to not be an expert in querying a database to be able to figure something out. You should be able to talk to them in a natural language. So I think there's a number of amazing New Zealand organizations out there that are data-driven organizations, and then there's a number of organizations that I could rattle off that are data rich, like the banks and so forth, right? And a number of them are along that journey to being data driven. But yeah, that would be my sort of reflection on that answer.
Thanks, Thomas. Any final takeaways to share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. Be really intentional with why you're doing something. Be clear on the business outcomes. It makes it easier to justify the business case to the board, to the users, and it's really like bridging that gap between data users, the board, and business users on taking people along this journey. It's a new journey for everyone, and I certainly think being intentional about it will really help tell the story across many different teams. From a Fivetran and dbt perspective, it's really easy. It's easy to get started. It's not big and scary. Start with a small use case, get some data moving, deliver that use case, and then you can expand from there. I would welcome anyone to come talk to me and my team around the challenges that they're facing around data foundations, and I'd encourage you to just get started and just don't be scared. You don't have to do all of it at once. You can just get started small and grow. You can do all of it at once, but deliver some wins, adoption will grow, and outcomes will follow. But yeah, again, really appreciate the opportunity to chat to you today.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Thomas.
Absolutely.
That was very good. Thank you. Much appreciated.
The New Zealand CIO
Such good timing.
Innovation Summit and the Tech Talks stage.
And more importantly,